Hello and welcome to the show. I am Joe Tophat. DC has made a lot of great direct-to-DVD animated movies. They usually star Batman, Superman, or the Justice League. There have been exceptions to this. One of them is Wonder Woman. There have been two movies made about the Amazon. First one entitled Wonder Woman in 2009, and the second one entitled Wonder Woman Bloodlines in 2019. Both movies deal with Wonder Woman's origin, but otherwise tell a completely different story. Which one is better? To answer this question, I'll first summarize each movie, and then I'll go over their strengths and weaknesses. Let's begin. Wonder Woman 2009 starts with a war between the Amazons and Ares, the god of war. Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons, kills the son she conceived with Ares, and would have killed Ares himself if it wasn't for Zeus's intervention. Hera forces Ares to wear bracelets that prevent him from using his powers. As for the Amazons, Hera gives them their own island, Themyscira, that is cut off from the world of men. The only man on the island is Ares, who is being held prisoner. As for Hippolyta, she has a daughter named Diana. Years later, Colonel Steve Trevor crash lands on Themyscira. After some hijinks, Hippolyta decides that Steve isn't a threat, and that one of them should return him to the world of men. They hold a contest to see who should it be, and it turns out to be Diana, who was forbidden from taking part. Thus she is given the iconic Wonder Woman costume. One of the Amazons gets seduced by Ares, so she kills a bookish Amazon who was guarding him, and sets the god of war free. Now Wonder Woman must bring him back. Steve tries to teach Wonder Woman about the world of men. Because he acts like a wolf from a Tex Avery cartoon, he doesn't do a very good job at representing men. He even tries to get her drunk at one point. This causes Wonder Woman to become disillusioned by men, but it also leads to a kick-ass fight scene. Anyway, they locate Ares, trying to enter the underworld, to get Hades to remove the bracelets. They fail to stop him because Steve chose to save Wonder Woman from a harpy rather than stop Ares. It leads to a heated argument about sexism. Steve's rebuttal is priceless, but I'll save that for later. Hades, who is fat for some reason, agrees to remove Ares' bracelets. Ares then attacks Washington, D.C. with an evil army. The Amazons get involved in the fight, and to make a long story short, they win. You see, Hades neglected to tell Ares that if he were to remove the bracelets, Zeus wouldn't be able to save him again. Now he and the sun are slaves to Hades in the underworld. After killing the Amazon who betrayed them, Hippolyta learns that cutting themselves off from the world of men was a mistake. So she allows her daughter to stay in the world of men. Now that I have gotten that out of the way, I'm going to go over the strengths and weaknesses of this movie. Strengths. It kept the idea that Diana won the right to become Wonder Woman. I've never been a fan of the whole steal the costume trope. I hated it when it was done in the Justice League cartoon, Batman Beyond, Ant-Man, the live-action Wonder Woman movie, etc. I feel that it taints the character's hero image by starting them off by doing something unheroic to get there. In this case, stealing the costume. I also like how Hippolyta doesn't seem to care that her daughter disobeyed her. The movie doesn't trash men. These days it's popular for the entertainment industry to trash men every chance they get. This movie, however, makes it clear that Hippolyta is partially to blame for what happened, for she was in a relationship with Ares. Steve points out in one scene that the whole God of War thing should have been a major red flag. He jokingly states that if it had been the god of dependability, a woman would only want to be friends with him. There are a lot of women that go for the bad boy and get angry when he turns out to be bad for them. Although Steve isn't the best representation of men, I love how the movie doesn't portray him like a total idiot. He's actually capable of giving reasoned rebuttals to Diana's assumptions about men. The characters are well developed. Diana, Steve, and Hippolyta each go through a character arc, and how they react makes sense based on their experiences. Hippolyta is a hardened warrior who sees men as a threat because of her relationship with Ares. That's why she cuts the Amazons off from the world of men. Diana is young and naive. She is curious about the world of men, but falls back on what her mother taught her after Steve tries to get her drunk. Steve is a womanizing pilot. Although he starts off wanting to sleep with Diana, he grows to care about her as a person. Steve understands that Diana has never met a man before, and he wasn't doing a very good job at representing his gender. While he comes off as a sleazeball, Steve does serve as the voice of reason. He grows tired of Diana's male bashing. After he saves her over stopping Ares, Steve tells her that not everything a man does is to keep women down. He also points out that her mother's decision to separate the Amazons from men is basically what caused the mess they're in. Diana learns that not all men are bad. Hippolyta learns the error of her ways, because the reason why the Amazon betrayed them was due to the fact that Hippolyta denied them a chance to be in a relationship with a man and to start a family. I doubt a movie like this could be made today. Weaknesses. Steve's portrayal. While I do appreciate the fact that the movie gave Steve a lot of depth, I don't like how they portrayed him like Quagmire from Family Guy. He's always been a gentleman towards Wonder Woman and other adaptations. I haven't read many of the comics, but I don't recall him ever behaving like this. Hades being fat. He looks more like Bacchus than Hades. Seriously, who came up with this? It's a minor complaint, but it's something that's always bugged me. The movie was supposed to get a sequel, but low DVD sales prevented that from happening. It's a shame it's never gotten a sequel, because it's one of my favorite direct-to-DVD animated movies. Wonder Woman wouldn't get another movie until 2019's Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Once again, Steve Trevor crash lands into Themyscira. Diana heals his injuries with a purple healing ray, but this time, her mother wants to send him to prison for violating Themyscira's no-man law. Diana defies her mother by stealing the Wonder Woman costume and fight her own mother to allow Steve to go home, causing Hippolyta to disown her. Once in DC, they meet a geologist named Julia Capitalis. Julia is fascinated by Diana. She has a teenage daughter named Vanessa, who she doesn't give a damn about. Diana and Vanessa form a bond, but Julia's constant neglect causes Vanessa to rebel. She starts to wear the usual rebellious clothes and sport that ridiculous half-shaved head look. It is during her time with Julia and Vanessa that Diana becomes Wonder Woman. 5 years later, Vanessa steals an artifact from her mother's superior, Dr. Kale, to give to the evil Dr. Poison. Wonder Woman and Steve help Julia to get it back. During the battle, Julia is fatally shot. As she lies dying in Vanessa's arms, she utters Diana's name. Guess we now know who the favorite was. Vanessa blames Wonder Woman for her mother's death and joins Dr. Poison to become Silver Swan. Wonder Woman blames herself for how Vanessa turned out and vows to help her. She decides to go back to her homeland to use the purple healing ray on Vanessa. Only she can't remember where it is because of some magic stuff. To make a long story short, Wonder Woman drinks some water from a fountain to regain her memory and flies home with Steve and their friend Etta. There's an epic battle with Medusa. They win. Vanessa gets healed and decides to live in Themyscira. Wonder Woman reconciles with her mother, who decides to open up Themyscira to the world. Oh, it turns out that Dr. Kale was the villain behind the whole thing. Strengths. Steve's portrayal. He doesn't act like Quagmire. Thank goodness. Doesn't rehash the first movie. I appreciate that Bloodlines told a story that didn't involve the relationship between men and women. The first one told it very well, so there's no need to go over it again. Seeing more Wonder Woman villains. While the previous movie had Cheetah at the end, she's used a little more here. Also, we get to see Giganta. I do wish they were the central villains, but at least they're in it. Wonder Woman's battle with Medusa. I loved her solution was to blind herself in order to fight her. Weaknesses. Julia was never called out for her actions. Look, I'm no expert at raising kids. I don't even have any kids of my own. But even I know that you should make sure your kids know they're important to you. From the beginning, Julia neglected her daughter, Vanessa. She gave Wonder Woman more attention than she ever did her own daughter. It was due to this neglect that Vanessa rebelled and joined Dr. Poison. When Julia was dying in Vanessa's arms, she said, Diana. Even in death, she disrespected her daughter. Not once did anybody ever said that this whole thing was her fault. Wonder Woman even blames herself for how Vanessa turned out. What? How the hell did she came to that conclusion? Look, I know that people sometimes feel they should have done more for someone they care about. But there's usually someone who tells them that there was nothing they could have done for that person. Vanessa's problems can be traced back to her mom's neglect, and that was going on long before Diana was in the picture. She may care for Vanessa, but she isn't her daughter. She's Julia's. The movie kills off Julia, so she never has to confront her mistakes. Even in death, nobody says, hey, maybe Julia should have paid more attention to Vanessa. The whole movie makes it out like it was all Wonder Woman's fault, and it wasn't. They had Diana steal the costume. I already went over why I hate this, so next point. Changing either Candy's race and sexuality. I'm not a fan when adaptations make pointless changes like this. In the previous movie, Eva was white and straight, but here she's black and gay. Why couldn't they just create an original character who fits that description? Now that all that is out of the way, which one is better? I would have to go with the 2009 movie. Although both movies are worth checking out, the 2009 movie just had a stronger story and better character depth. The characters owned up to their actions rather than dwell on something that was beyond their control. If you haven't seen either movie yet, check them out. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.